Hey, what's going on, Unguarded family? How are you all doing? The Prince is coming back at you again, man. Listen, today we're going to talk about some basketball. And I want to dive into a few things that I kind of irks me, you know what I mean? Kind of get me annoyed. But at the same time, I'm not mad, all right? So your boy is not mad. I'm a little bit annoyed, but I'm not mad. So listen, I was speaking to my boy yesterday, Jermaine Kawane. What's going on, my boy Jermaine? You know who you are. And he was very excited and giving LeBron James a lot of praise, and which I have no problem with, because I personally think that LeBron James is a very great player in today's NBA, National Basketball Association. And he deserves all the praise, man. I think LeBron is a very special player, very skilled. And I also think he could have played in any era of basketball. He could have played back in the 80s, 90s, where, it was very physical back then. And Mr. LeBron James, he has the physical attributes to play back then, man. He's a freak of nature. He obviously have the skill set. If you're thinking of basketball, he have the skill set to thrive back then. So, he deserves all the praise that he was getting from my boy. I'm not upset at all. But sometimes where I draw the line sometimes is like, is the comparison. We are living in a comparison world for some reason, and we feel the need to compare everybody, and a lot of times we just throw some names out there like, hey, slow your boat. So you look at, we always compare, or they're always comparing LeBron James to Michael Jordan, which I think there should be no comparison, man. There is levels of greatness to this, and man, Michael Jordan is a different level of greatness. Like LeBron James is great, but Michael Jordan is a total level, total different animal, a total different beast, if you will. I'm gonna throw some stats out there for you, just a couple, just to remind you, of the type of animal and the type of assault that Mr. Michael Jordan has brought to the NBA, so to speak. Michael Jordan played 15 seasons, 15 years. 10 years of those 15 seasons, Mr. Michael Jordan have 10 scoring titles. Just think about that for a moment. You played 15 years and you have 10 scoring titles, right? I think 6 or 7 of those years was consecutive scoring titles, man. Year after year, he was just dominating. And the type of onslaught that he have brought to the NBA and his opponents, man, was crazy. And then you think about, he went to the finals 6 times, and all 6 times he brought back championships. All 6 times he was the MVP of all 6 times he went to the finals. That means he was the it factor for every series, man. He was the mismatch, right? You think about, I can hear someone saying, yeah, he was a great offensive player, which he was. But not only was he a great offensive player, he was also just as dominant on the defensive side of the ball. Till one of the years he brought home Defensive Player of the Year. Just imagine that for a while. You think about, there is a player who have 10 scoring titles. And he's also defensive player of the year. That means he's a dog. He's a beast on the defensive side of the ball. A well-balanced player. Because most of the times we see superstars, they're not great on both sides of the ball. Some of them may be great on the offensive side. Some of them may be great on the defensive side. But very rare we see a player that's just as dominant on both sides of the ball, the offense and the defense. Right? Not just that, you're talking about in those 15 years, he has 5 seasons, regular season and MVP, which he should have had about 8. But I think at some point, you know what? Maybe the NBA was just like, we can't be giving Jordan, MVP every year, year after year. And they give it to a couple other people. If you were watching the game back then, you just see they just are just exhausted of giving it to Jordan, and they decide to give it to somebody else. Basically, that's what it was. You're talking about a guy again who maybe 10 or 11 of those years played 82 games, all 82 games. And you think about back then, man, when you were taking a beating, you know what I'm saying? And for not miss a game, like you play 9 seasons and you play all 82 games, man, that is crazy. We talk about freak of nature, which LeBron is. MJ was a freak of nature, man. And then you hear all the stories where he was hardly sleeping and still he was doing all of this. So could you imagine if he had slept? Oh my gosh. If he was doing all this with very little sleep, just imagine with me for a moment, if the guy has had some, some shut eye, so to speak. He was hardly sleeping and he was killing the NBA like this. It's crazy, man. I say all this to say, man, sometimes we gotta just enjoy players for what they are doing. You know what I mean? Enjoy the Steph Curry of the world, the LeBron James, the Kevin Durant, because once they're gone, we're going to miss them. Stop all the comparisons. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Just stop it. Just enjoy, guys. You know what I mean? In whatever era they're playing, enjoy it. Have fun. Because once they are gone, guys, we are going to miss them. Michael Jordan is the GOAT of all GOATs. Yes, I've said it. You know what I mean? You guys, my grandmother used to always say, man, out of sight, out of mind. And a lot of times because Jordan has been retired over 2 decades ago, man, we forget what a killer this guy was, man. He was certainly a killer. You know what I mean? Another thing, a lot of times we talk about, I see a lot of times we bring up Kobe's name, and we say he was the closest thing to MJ. And sometimes I beg to differ, man, because I remember, if you remember those first years, the first 3-peat, that Jordan, and even before he started winning championship, those first 7, 8 years, man, where he was living in the air. Hence they call him Air Mike. And you guys just keep saying Kobe is the closest thing to MJ. Hell to the no. Kobe looked nowhere close to Mike that first 8 years. Kobe was not living in the air like that. The aerial assault that Michael Jordan brought to the NBA was ludicrous. It was crazy. Unheard of. Guys. Now, what I would agree with, I think the second 3-peat, where Jordan was not living in the air like he used to, and it was about footwork, it was about the right hand in the passing lane and stuff like that. You know, he was very fundamentally sound. Kobe was close to that. I will give him that. That MJ he was close to. So if you know anything about basketball, that MJ for sure, he was very close to. Like, the look-alike, the similarities was right there. So if you're talking about that MJ, then I will have to agree with you. And talking about fundamentally sound, that's another thing. I think when Michael Jordan came into the NBA, his fundamentals was on point. I don't know. I mean, he did went to college versus LeBron and Kobe, who came straight out of high school. And back then, when you spend 3 4 years in college, you're much more prepared for the NBA versus when you come straight out of high school. So MJ was ahead of the game the time he get into the NBA with all his fundamentals. He has seen all different types of schemes and stuff. Because listen, the best coaches are in college, man, with all the different schemes and stuff like that. So by the time you get to the NBA, Michael Jordan has seen it all, and that's why he was so fundamentally sound. Anyways, guys, listen. Stop the comparing, man, and just enjoy guys while they're playing. You know what I'm saying? There's some guys, of course, deserve to be in the GOAT conversation. LeBron, of course, Kobe. I would say even Steph Curry, because Steph Curry changed the game. Because of Steph Curry, guys who should not even be shooting threes are shooting threes. Steph Curry is the type of player from the time he leave his driveway, you got to start guarding him because you never know what's going to happen. Not only he's a great shooter, man, his movement with and without the ball, is crazy. He's one of the most fittest athletes in the NBA by far. His movement without the ball just scares the living hell out of his opponents. He's moving before you know. If I was a baller, I would have loved to play with Steph Curry because I would have had so many open shots that every day all I would have been working on is shooting. Because I know I would have so many open shots and I would have want to make them. Man, it's crazy. So I could imagine how guys like Kevin Durant felt when they're playing with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, anybody that's a shooter would enjoy playing with a Steph Curry. He's unselfish. He's the kind of guy who run around and give you the ball. You don't have to feed him all the time. You know what I'm saying? Very unselfish player. So you would have enjoyed yourself just playing with a Steph Curry. So Steph Curry, he deserves to be in the conversation. You being in the conversation doesn't mean you're the GOAT, but it means you're doing something very special that worthy of you just to be in the conversation. All right? So LeBron, Steph Curry, Kobe, of course, man. You cannot forget the Mamba, man. A lot of times because the guy is not around here, sometimes we told, again, my grandmother always say, out of sight, out of mind, man. Don't forget the Mamba, man. He was very special to the National Basketball Association, man. Anyways, this is your boy. This is Unguarded, man. Where you can, at any given time, man, you can shoot me a message. We can have discussion. Don't be afraid to rebuttal, man. Your boy is here. Your boy is here. I'm all ears. What I say is not gospel. I wouldn't have a problem come back and acknowledging something that I miss. You know what I mean? So listen, your boy is here. Reach out to your boy. I gotta get out of here. Unguarded family, I love you. We love you over here. Keep sending in your messages, man. Sending in your emails, make your comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Listen, I'm reading all your messages. I'm doing my due diligence on my end. You know what I mean? So we can have a good conversation. You don't have to agree with me all the time for us to have good conversations. I enjoy the disagreement sometimes. All right? Your boy got to get out of here. As usual, man, it's Unguarded. We love you. It's your boy, it's your cousin, it's your nephew. Let's go!
Something about life, yeah, makes me wanna smile.